You know when I suffer the most is when I think my life's important. When I take the big fat spotlight and shine it down upon me, and I think about me, and I talk about me, and I plan what me is going to do today. And I think about my goals and how I'm not achieving them. I think about the things I want out of life. And all this I, me, creates immense suffering. The two most used words in the English language is I and me. And the antidote to that is taking the spotlight off of you, putting it on other people. This automatically frees up all the stress, tension, worry, depression, sadness, anguish, and inner turmoil that we create for ourselves. Stop thinking about me, and all your problems are solved. Investing one's life energy in other people is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Is the greatest gift of inner peace and happiness and joy and contentment and all the things that we so desperately seek and look to the material world to fill can be found when we stop dwelling on me, the mind, the ego, the self. This is what creates all the suffering. And you can't just say, okay, I'm going to stop thinking about me. You have to act on it. And you kind of do a garage sale and start purging all the things that you thought would fill the me and the I. And that's why I believe the principle of practicing simplicity is so important. Because the simple life is saying, all I need is food, shelter, and water. Everything beyond that, okay, a few other things, a computer to connect with other people. But beyond that is drowning the me, is suffocating the spirit. It's a cleansing. Then you go in your mind, you catch yourself. Who is this me? And you ask yourself this question. Who is this me I'm spending so much energy and effort on? Who is this me that I'm obsessing about? Who is this me that's causing me all this stress? Who is this me is feeling like they're not living up to their potential? Who is this I that is constantly hungry and devourous for more? It doesn't exist. We are expending so much of our life energy for an illusion, for make-believe, for fantasy land. And that's freedom. And I think another really valuable thing that will help take the spotlight off the me, the mind, the ego is, and I love Eckhart Tolle talks about this. He says, what's our life consist of? A dash from the day we are born to the date that we die. A dash. And think about, who won the Super Bowl 5 years ago? Who won the Super Bowl 10 years ago? Who won the Academy Award 3 years ago? Who was on the New York Times bestseller list? All these things that we so desperately strive to get recognized and work so hard and work, and I'm going to become somebody. I'm going to make the me somebody important. I'm going to get that spotlight on me and I and the ego. All this energy that we expend, the stress and the suffering and the pain and the anguish, is completely wiped out upon our death. All those accomplishments we don't take with us. The big house, the fame, the power, the prestige, the recognition. Gone. Gone. And I think keeping death in the foreground as you live out your life and realizing that how temporal everything is, that also helps take the spotlight off of the me and the I and the ego. And then what you can do is start, instead of what we try to do is we look to the external world and try to suck it dry, suck the things that we can out of it to fill us. And we're destroying our planet in the process. But we do it, with people needing approval, needing recognition, needing money. So we're trying to extract it and then put it in here and fill our soul. And what happens? Our soul's not filled, so we say, oh, you know what? We don't say, maybe I shouldn't look external. We say, well, that didn't satisfy me, so I'm going to look for something different external. So we're reaching and pulling and grabbing for something else external. Okay, that's going to satisfy me. And that might be very short-lived. And then we reach out and want to grab for something else. And it's never ending. People spend their whole lives in a constant state of want and suffering, on the treadmill, never feeling that inner peace and that inner joy. And when you take the spotlight off of me and saying, you know what, my life really is not that important. There's 6-7 billion people in the world. Everybody thinking their life is so important. It's not. Our lives are not. And instead of that bringing us down, that's liberating. And with the other things I talked about in the other videos, with the inner compass and you're following your glow, the way to live where you feel a sense of passion and fulfillment and diminish the suffering and the inner turmoil is to live inside out. And instead of trying to extract externally, you are mining what is within you. Everything, all the jewels and treasures and resources and gifts and passions that you have in you, and mining them and then sharing them with everybody, with the world, with the people surrounding you, with your friends, with your family. And who knows, whatever your gift or whatever your passion is, you're not doing it for the sake of recognition, for the sake of money, for the sake of power, for the sake of filling your inner void. You're doing it because it's an act of love. You want to mine what's within you and give it to those around you because it's an expression of love. And that is the really only reason we are here, is to give and receive love. That's it. That's our purpose in life. We could spend thousands of years studying all kinds of different traditions and religions and spiritual practices, but our purpose is to give and receive love. And you notice when you start living that way, you mine the gifts and you're giving out from your heart, you feel the contentment that most people so desperately seek. You feel a sense of peace. You feel a sense of joy. And that's it. And you're taking the spotlight off of you and saying, how can I bless the lives of others? Thanks for listening. Comments always appreciated.